Hello and welcome to the Wednesday, January 16th Cluster API Provider Implementer meeting in EMEA. Thank you for joining us today. Are there any new participants who would like to introduce themselves?
So perhaps I should say hi. I'm Paweł. My nick in GitHub is blinded. Free end to this, and yeah, I wanted to say hi. I want to contribute as much as possible. So I'm going through meetings and see what's going on and talk with Tim a little. Yeah, and lifecycle channel.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for joining us. We're definitely glad to have you. Is there a specific? Yeah. Is there a specific provider that you're working on currently, or are you just generally interested?
So far, working with AWS, it's 12 or 14 actually clusters for now, and startup is turning into corporation, I think, because of this. Yeah, so a lot of going on, and we use Keras with, it used to be Racket, now it's Docker, because everybody wants to write Docker files for some reason, and yeah, that daemon sucks.
Fair enough. Right on. Well, welcome, and again, thank you for joining. All right. So, just wanted to put forward to those who are joining to see if there's any items that they would like to add to the agenda today.
So I think we will have an item. It's related to Bootstrap token. Question is, how do we affect the API and Bootstrap process when working with Bootstrap token? I mean, we're trying to think of the way of reuse that, adding TTL, and still having that valid. So question is, if users should, for instance, upload the key, or maybe it should be handled on server side, because I'm afraid that if we decide to go the one way, then the whole API will be affected. So I also don't know the whole cluster API bootstrapping implementation. I need to go and deep dive into the code and everything. But still, it's something that I think we are trying to figure out also with HepTO. Yeah, but they are offline this week. I think they're on site as per Tim. So yeah, so that's one item. I think it will be going on for a moment. That's something that we are thinking of at this moment. Yeah.
For sure. So I'm not very familiar with the particular mechanism for the cluster API provider for AWS.
Oh, it's not for AWS. It's like in general. Kubeadm more likely related, because it started in Kubeadm.
Right. So it depends on the provider.
Okay.
Entirely. So the rest of the folks on the call all work with the cluster API provider OpenStack. And in that provider, we generate our own tokens. So the code which kubeadm uses to generate the Bootstrap tokens has been extracted from kubeadm and is a separate package now. And what we do is leverage that to generate the Bootstrap tokens independent of kubeadm. I'm not sure that's something that has been discussed in the general cluster API community, pursuing that as a general method, because we don't want to bind ourselves directly to kubeadm. There are some other mechanisms that people may want to use for Bootstrap.
I couldn't agree more. Yeah.
So in that case, we decided to, in the OpenStack provider, extract that and then leverage the Bootstrap tokens independent of whether you're using kubeadm or not.
Okay, cool.
So that's definitely something that can be looked at for the AWS or other providers as well.
Yeah. The AWS folks do it in almost the same way like we do.
So
we came up with the same solution within, let's say, 2 days, independent from each other. That was fun.
Nice. So it can be generic. Okay, so that's good news. Place to start.
In general, the Bootstrap token is just a secret, a traditional secret with special data in it.
Mm-hmm.
So it must have a special form. And I can give you a pointer to this if you like.
Yeah, I would love to.
I'll write it into the document.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, Chris.
Yeah, thanks.
All right. Does anyone else have any other items that they'd like to bring forward today? Okay. Just a reminder, as general Kubernetes business, if you're interested in speaking at KubeCon EU, that's in Barcelona in May, the call for proposals will close on Friday, so you'll want to get those in before Friday. So. All right. Does anybody have anything else they'd like to bring forward? All right. In that case, then, thank you very much for your time and for joining. And we hope to see you all again next week. Thank you and take care.